Are you gonna take, dancing around her so fun?
That was funny.
Order the special city council meeting for Riviera Beach, November 25th, 2019, 6 p.m. Madam, roll call.
Mayor Ronnie Felder,
Here.
Chairperson Kashamba Miller Anderson,
Present.
Chair Pro Tem Julia Botel,
Here.
Councilperson Trodrick McCoy, Councilperson Shirley Lanier, Councilperson Douglas Lawson.
Here.
City Manager Jonathan Evans.
Present.
City Clerk Claudine Anthony is present. Assistant City Attorney Lina Busby.
Here.
You may proceed.
All right, we'll have a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilwoman Chair Pro Tem Botel.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have any additions, deletions, substitutions? None.
No, Madam Chair.
Disclosures by council. Have a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Councilperson Lawson.
Yes.
Pro Tem Botel.
Yes.
Chair Miller Anderson.
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Consent agenda. We don't have anything under the consent agenda. Unfinished business. Petitions and communications for filing, none. Awards and presentations, none. Public hearings, ordinance on second and final reading, item number 1.
Ordinance number 4141, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Riviera Beach, Palm Beach County, Florida, providing a time extension not to exceed an additional 180 days from December 2nd, 2019, the original expiration date of the current moratorium previously enacted by ordinance number 4133, for a total moratorium time period not to exceed 360 days, expiring on May 30th, 2020, as to the filing, receiving, or processing of any application or permit associated with lands having a special preservation future land use designation in whole or in part, including submerged lands and uplands, or lands defined as wetlands or a wetlands preservation area within Chapter 23, Article 3 of the city's Code of Ordinances, in order to review, amend, and develop codes and land development regulations associated with the city's comprehensive plan and the special preservation future land use designation, along with codes for coastal construction and wetlands preservation, in order to protect and conserve the city's natural resources, providing for the boundaries subject to the moratorium, providing for conflicts and severability, and providing for an effective date. Madam Chair, we do have public comment cards on this item. The acceptance of public comment cards on this item is now closed. Madam Chair, I need to advise that Mr. Lozman did put in a public comment card for himself, Renegade 2.
We're only doing the 1 3-minute for Mr. Lozman.
Thank you,
Madam
Madam
Chair,
Chair.
There's a small typo in the ordinance. It says,
can't hear you.
I'm sorry, there's a small typo in the ordinance. About the middle, it says city's code or ordinances rather than of ordinances.
Okay, so we'll make sure we take care of that. Can we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, Mr. Evans?
Madam Chair, members of the council, if I can have Acting Development Services Director, Mr. Jeff Gagnon, present this item.
Thank you, sir. Jeff Gagnon, Acting Director of Development Services. Honorable Mayor, Council, We're here tonight to discuss the second reading of the ordinance that was brought before council on November 6th. At that point in time, the ordinance was unanimously approved by City Council. As read into the record, this will extend our existing moratorium for an additional 180 days, with that expiration date not to exceed May 30th of 2020. I'd be happy to answer any questions that council may have.
Okay, we'll go to public comments for this item.
Lloyd Brown, Fane Lozman.
My name is Lloyd Brown, and
Evening.
me and Lozman, we're not really close, but only thing I have to say is about that property over there where he's at. There used to be a time when black people used to pull along the side. We used to throw our nets out and fish and everything. And it's like everything that's over there that used to be for blacks, you're taking it away. And like where Lozman at, maybe it might be an opportunity that he might open up that area for us to come back. Because if you want us from over there, then just let us know. Because for one thing, I'll say, every time I look around, there's something that you don't want over there. But then you turn around, you'll just throw something on our end. I'm not here just to be a friend. I mean, I may be your friend, but I'm black first, Ms. Botel. And honestly, to tell you like this, I think between the citizens and between you people up there, there's a failure to communicate. Because whatever the citizens say, you people seem like you can't hear. And okay, I registered to vote, but it's not just a vote that's gonna count, because if there's a possibility, I'll run for any position up here. And the people I know out there that I really know, they would probably choose me over any one of you up here. And if I had the knowledge of the city manager, I would take his position, because I got the wisdom on what Riviera Beach needs. And I mean, with y'all trying to block this man out, I mean, here it is, everybody up there, it's like an echo. When one says something, everybody else says it. And that ain't right. I mean, if you're gonna go through and you steady, following the leader, and then anyway, with you, Lawson, you live over there, you got a shop over there. How many people come in there and persuade you? And if anybody from the council come in your shop and talk about what's going on over here, I think that's something against the Sunshine Law. And I know you can't say that they don't. It's like this. I'm a field Negro, and you a house. See, if the house burning down, I'm gonna hope the wind blow. You gonna be trying to put it out. You don't know
Mr. Brown, we
anything
gotta
about,
stick
well,
to the topic,
about
please.
over there with Lozman at. Don't push the man away from over there. Let him do it. You do everything on our end, so let him have it. Maybe he might open it back up to black people over there. You can't go under the bridge, and around that corner, that was a spot where we went. How are you going to say it's a reserve? We were fishing over there. We were doing things that we enjoyed over Singles Island. My father built houses over there around with Lozman, trying to build his. He was over there since I was in elementary school working. And now here it is, you can't even get over there. And so I don't see nothing wrong with him putting that over there, because you done moved everything else for the black people from over there.
Record reflect Miss Shirley Lanier came on the dais about 3 minutes ago.
Fane Lozman.
Fane Lozman, 5101 North Ocean Drive. I talked to Barbara Peterson, the head of the First Amendment Foundation. You are violating Florida's anti-shush law by refusing to allow me to represent two affected parties, Renegade 2 and Halo Development. You also needed to make a disclosure, Ms. Anderson, that you visited the property and you did state that you had no problem with the property being developed to improve the money to the general fund, and then you kindly demanded a $1,000 contribution from me.
That's a lie. Don't come up here lying now.
You came to the property. One day you have to raise your hand under oath and
Do not do
explain
that.
what happened. Gagnon and Botel have pushed us. Gagnon and Botel came forward wanting this moratorium. This wasn't asked for by Lawson, by Lanier, or Ms. Miller Anderson, or Mr. McCoy. Gagnon has been pushing this ever since I got the property over there. He wouldn't give me an address. We had a lawsuit. He wouldn't let black people go between two white buildings. We had a lawsuit to reopen the easement. We're talking about Gagnon in public comments. There's a lot of exciting things going on with him. as far as him being criminally charged, but they've pushed that through. Before you ran for office, Ms. Miller Anderson came to the property, Jonathan Evans came to the property, had no problem. That would be good revenue stream for the city. You said you didn't care what went on. I doubt you're going to raise your hand and lie when you're in a witness stand one day. Ms. Lanier, I support her campaign. She also said she had no problem developing the property. She believed in private property rights. And Mr. Lawson also said he believed in private property rights. Private property rights bring revenue into the city. That property was dry land in 1924. It's wet now, ankle-deep wet water, because they dug material out and dumped it to build the crown of North Ocean Drive. There's a survey from 1922 by the federal government where that land was dry. That property was, say, 1,000 acres that was sold by the state of Florida to be developed. 850 acres were developed. Every single house on Singer Island is built on filled-in land from the state. In 2003, Dan Taylor's mother filed a legal action on a taking, and the city stated in a final order that there was a vested right to fill in the property if they could get the state and federal permits, okay? You should be aware of that final order because we've talked about it. The only thing that people seem to understand is when they have personal liability as an elected official. And Mr. Evans sued Terrence Davis, Lynn Hubbard, and Don Pardo individually, saying that they should have known they couldn't fire him. The only people that have anything to lose up there are Miss Anderson and Mr. Lawson. You guys are the only guys that have any money. Ms. Lanier, McCoy, and Botel, you don't have any funds to come after. You need to think long and hard what's going on. There's going to be a taking action filed against the city, and you guys are going to be named individually, and you're going to be liable for taking away these development rights because you know better. So you should think long and hard what you're going to do. I know you have a very smirk face item on your hand, but you can't take away development rights that have already been litigated in 2003. So you need to think long and hard
Thank you,
when
Mr.
you raise your
Lozman.
hand if you want to be named as an individual defendant, Mr. Lawson.
Let the record reflect, the last time I visited that property was in 2015, prior to me running for office for the very first time, and that was the only time a donation was provided. It was not demanded. I have not taken a donation from Mr. Lozman since 2015 when my first election. So I just want that to be very clear, and there was no demand for a contribution. Do we have any questions or comments from the board? All right, Madam Clerk?
Councilperson Lawson?
Yes.
Councilperson Lanier?
Yes.
Pro Tem Botel?
Yes.
Chair Miller Anderson?
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
All right, comments from the public? Public comments should be restricted to issues, matters, or topics pertinent to the city of Riviera Beach. Please be reminded that the city council has adopted rules of decorum governing public conduct during official meetings, which has been posted at the entrance of the council chambers. In an effort to preserve order, if any of the rules are not adhered to, the council chair may have any disruptive speaker or attendee removed from the podium, from the meeting, and/or building, if necessary. Please govern yourselves accordingly. Public comment shall begin at 7:30 p.m. unless there is no further business of the city council, which in that event, it shall begin sooner. In addition, if an item is being considered at 7:30 p.m., then comments from the public shall begin immediately after the item has been concluded. Any person who would like to speak during public comments, please fill out a public comment card located on the table directly outside of the council chambers and give it to the staff before the public comment section is announced.
Madam Chair, are we closing the acceptance of public comment cards at this time?
Yes, we are.
The acceptance of public comment cards at this time is now closed. Lord,
Vic, go ahead and take it from them quickly, please. Go ahead and call the first person.
Lloyd Brown, Fane Lozman, Cindy March.
My name is Lloyd Brown, and I guess you know that. I want to talk about something you were talking about around by Monroe Heights. You know, I don't even think any of y'all people, I know you haven't, Mr. Evans, been over there when it rains. And right along R Avenue, it floods out. I got a truck that's almost like a four-wheel drive. And this is with the canal being wide open. And you know what? The water is all the way up to my doors, and my truck is like 3 feet up in the air. And you know, like for people just to sit back like you, Mayor, you just sit back and you won't say anything. I didn't really get along with the other mayor, but at least he said something. You just sit there like you don't have no disagreement with anything. And I mean, with you, Lawson, I don't know if you're getting paid, man, but you know what? If you aren't, you crazy, because I would get paid for what I'm doing to this city. And Mr. Evans, honestly, I like you, but you don't really know what the city needs, and we don't need anything over there. Not at all, honestly. The people that I talked to over there, they said, we've been getting floods over here. I said, well, they're going to close up the canal. Close up the canal, that means the water's going to rise higher. And then the white boy that came in here was trying to tell you about it. He couldn't tell you who's going to be working there or not. And still, you saying, oh, that's a good idea. Well, if it's a good idea to put that over there, I think it's a great idea to put Lozman over there on the other side of the tracks, because over Singers Island. Because, I mean, you can't just keep putting stuff in the black neighborhood if we keep saying no. Because I'm going to tell you like this, there's a lot of people, like I said, out there who like me. And there's a lot of people out there who don't like y'all. And the majority of the people out there that like me are the majority of the people who are going to be voting. And the minority of people, they don't like you. And I be hearing, you know, Lawson be talking about, well, we're going to have minority jobs. You know, a minority could be a gay. It can be, it's less of a group. That's a minority. But you know, the older people who live in Riviera Beach, they think a minority, you saying black people jobs. If you look around, there's nothing on that beach over there that's ran by blacks. There's nothing in the marina maybe that really associate with blacks. They say they got a Jamaican club over there. Well, Jamaicans are a minority in this city. I mean, you know, I was here, and I'm an ex-slave. My father, anyway, grandfather, whatever. When I was here, you know, and we came here, like the girl was saying, anything you get for free, put it there, that's good. Well, those slave ships, they didn't pay for them either. And the people at Auschwitz and those concentration camps in Germany, they didn't pay for those concentration camps, but that don't mean that it benefited them, did it? So don't always think because somebody giving you something for nothing. Yeah, I got a watermelon, no good, you can have it. It's in my refrigerator, it's been in there for 3 months. You want it, it's free.
Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Mr. Brown, if there's any time you'd like to sit down and have a conversation to discuss the concerns and address the issues you may have, I would love to sit down with you. That is an open invitation for you. And I'm going to say that on public record because unfortunately you stated that there's a failure to communicate. If you're not going to allow for communication with your city council and with your electeds, then your opinion really doesn't matter to anyone here because we do not believe what you're saying. Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Fane Lozman, Cindy March, Ms. Williams.
Fane Lozman, last Wednesday, the Palm Beach Post published a story on page B1. Protesters want better condition at Stony Brook, charges for Riviera Beach official. In the article, it said the state attorney's office said Tuesday that Lozman's complaint against Gagnon remains open. I have told you before there's a probable cause affidavit that's been submitted to the Public Corruption Department stating there's probable cause to arrest Jeff Gagnon on a number of misdemeanor charges, but the state attorney has not acted on that probable cause complaint. What I have subsequently learned is there's a federal investigation into Jeff Gagnon's behavior over Stony Brook. So we don't know if the state attorney is waiting for the federal investigation to open, but it involves felony charges. Felony charges at the federal level have to go through the grand jury system. So we don't know where that is. Has Gagnon's case gone to a grand jury and been rejected? Has Gagnon's case not gone to a grand jury? We don't know. Our argument is that because of the probable cause affidavit sitting in the state attorney's office, he should wrap up his investigation and go ahead and charge Gagnon with the crimes that he has committed, or that he has allegedly committed. So it's very interesting that there is a felony investigation at the federal government level into Gagnon. And so, well, what did Gagnon do? Gagnon threatened and intimidated to fire Lady March when she gave me a fence permit, she gave Taylor a dock permit. But on the federal side, what he also did is he threatened her regarding her issuing red tags at Stony Brook where the units were unfit for habitation. Now, some of you should be concerned that children were living in units that had asbestos and mold and were unfit, but Gagnon had no problem with that. Now, Mr. Brown, I did file a lawsuit against Gagnon because I had 3 black friends that me and them used to go across to the beach, and Gagnon saw to it that the easement was shut down, and he made a comment at the planning and zoning that he felt that those easements between those white condominiums should be shut down, that the black residents should go to the public beach. And we filed a lawsuit, and that easement was reopened, the public access easement, and the city redid it. And now my black friends and I do go to the public beach. So there certainly is a racial component to Gagnon's behavior, and I hope it goes to federal grand jury and then he's charged, because then he'll really be in deep trouble. Some misdemeanors from the state attorney's office, that's not a big deal, but either way, he'll lose his job with the city, and he should lose his job. He should not have threatened the chief black building official over a fence and a dock. He should not have threatened her over red tagging these units at Stony Brook. I mean, it's just a disgrace. But again, we can only go by what the state attorney told the Palm Beach Post. The investigation's still open. And ultimately, I believe Gagnon will be criminally charged, and Mr. Evans will end up firing this man. But what are we going to do in the interim? How long are we going to allow him
Thank you,
to
Mr.
wreak
Lozman.
havoc on the residents of this city? And that's something
Thank
you
you,
should
Mr.
also look
Lozman.
into, Mr. Felder. You have the ability to suspend
Mr.
this man at any
Lozman,
time.
please move from the
Cindy
microphone.
March, Miss Williams, Alan Schultz.
Good evening. My name is Cindy March, 201 West 25th Street. Ms. Botel, did you get that address? I just want to say to you all, it's very disheartening how you all trying to treat Fane Lozman about his property, but you all were so eager. And I'm not talking about the new council, but the people that was before or whoever gave the approval. You all fired Lady March on the 28th. Well, the 29th, cold storage came in and got over 100,000 fees waived. Somebody gonna have to tell that to the federal, the FBI, okay? Botel, you walk the hallway to Gagnon and yourself organized, and Deirdre organized for Lady March to be fired. Okay, she called me midnight in the hours. Evans, I'm not gonna say you wasn't here because they communicated you while you was over there in Madeira, because they even admit that they communicated with you since the time you left here. So I'm not gonna never say you left Riviera. You've always been in Riviera. But she have called me in the wee hours, Auntie, I got to go red tag these Stony Brook apartments. And then she called me back crying, Auntie, I don't know why some of the city council people over there pulling the red tag saying they're in livable condition. You all gonna have to answer to somebody. And my hypothetical question, whether you answer me or not, ask yourself, would you all live in them kind of conditions? I mean, really? Would you all live in that kind of condition just for one day? Not 1 year, one day. So whoever you all are that pull them tags off, you all gonna have to answer. And where Gagnon get all of this authority from? This is what I wanna know. He's not a certified billing official, okay? He's not certified. And if Lady March wasn't capable of doing her job, who hired her? That's who you all should have been going after. And it's so sad we go to the courthouse, didn't even go in the courtroom, must I reiterate. Don't even know whether the lights was on that time of morning. Don't even know what color was. And the case was dismissed. But you all had arrested her. Do you all know what kind of crime that is? It's not affecting you all because you all have not been sued individually. And they need to stop suing the city of Riviera Beach and sue you all individually. And then you will stop some of this foolishness and get on a positive side for the citizens of Riviera Beach and not personal vendettas. Botel, your fingers and hands, I keep saying it and I'm going to say it till I can't say it no more. You got your hands into everything. Stop going over there to Stony Brook and trying to give our little students some Easter basket or bunny or and stuff like that and a free turkey. These people want to live like they're not in a third world country. Stony Brook is living like they're in a third world country. After a while, we're not going to even be able to go on Sing Island. It's going to be just like Palm Beach. If you ain't got a work badge, you won't be able to get on Sing Island. And we as a whole need to stop the foolishness. And you know what, Kashama, they use us. When I say us, and I'm not racist at all. It's not a racist bone in my body. But they will use us to get
Thank
what they
you, Ms.
want.
March.
You know, I voted for you, but you would not
Thank
get
you,
another
Ms.
vote.
March.
You would not get another one.
Thank you.
Your message just like a dash.
Miss Williams, Alan Schultz.
Botel and Kashama got to go.
Good evening, go ahead.
To the citizens of Riviera Beach, I hope they're watching this here tonight. I want to ask a question, make sure they bring it up, and ask him where's his legal and his paperwork. He got, that's on record before the judge asked who you, judge said, I don't know who you are. You're not even on my roster. Who you represent? The city of Riviera Beach. Did he make my city And Mr. Evans, you was at the Citizen Patrol thing last Wednesday. I couldn't get in because they didn't know I was out there mashing the button. But I want to ask, it was said to me now, I have to quote it, that you're supposed to build a big something over there, sing out of this garage and stuff. I don't know. Now, I want you to answer me when you come to the end. Is that true, that you're supposed to build something over there and do a garage and all these? Attend a bathroom, when they flush their toilet, run down to her apartment. The roof caved in. They put her in a place. Then the lady say, oh, she assaulted her. She did all this stuff here and evicted her. You put me in paying the rent, yet you said I violated you. Is that nice? Is that right? No, that is not right. I want you to answer me. Ms. Lanier, I will talk to you again about something else. I don't want to say it up here, but I will talk to you again.
Alan Schultz.
Thank you.
The expenditure for $17,000, even though he had the responsibility to do so, or the authority to do so. So she didn't have the authority, but he does. It doesn't make sense to me. Furthermore, the city manager should have informed Councilwoman Botel that the city had a written contract for its review, although at that point it was the responsibility of that city manager, Karen Hoskins, to establish an agreement with me. So I don't understand how the fact that there's no agreement has anything to do with me. I submitted bills, I presented a project plan, I provided the work product, billed, I got paid, I got a contract, I got a purchase order. I don't know, it doesn't sound right. I'm just trying to address why, I get up here last week and was so upset. So anyway, I'd like to show you some work product. This was, first of all, a meeting summary. This was one of our first Riviera Beach Workforce Development Task Force meetings. This was written on August 20th, right after the meeting. It's 2 pages long, and it refers to all the different things that went on at the meeting. And for example, Dr. Gene Whitby, who now is with the city, and by the way, that was a good catch. I'm happy for you about that. I'm not happy about how the way I was terminated without ever even being told, but you got Gene and you're in good shape there. Alan introduced a group of Riviera Beach, the business directory. This was a joint effort with the CRA in Mrs. Botel's office, where we put together a list of all the city's businesses and developed a list and we categorized them by business segment. So there was a tremendous amount of work done. And I have all this work product here that I'd like to enter into public record, along with some important letters and reports that were put together, so that the statement that I never provided any work product or you're really not sure what I did, here it is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, that concludes public comment.
All right, Mr. Evans, if there were any questions that were posed, do you have any answers to them?
Yes, Madam Chair and members of the board. There was an opportunity for me to brief the community about an item that will be coming before the City Council for discussion at your December 14th workshop with regards to a private developer's interest in developing the property over at the Ocean Walk. It's the individuals that currently hold the lease at that particular property. So they do want to share some thoughts and concepts with the council to see if there is a desire for them to move forward in that particular on that particular property. In addition to the respondent that successfully won the RFP concerning the other parcels adjacent to the Ocean Walk, would like to have the opportunity to share some concepts and thoughts with the council on what they would like to do related to economic development in that particular area. So those are both items that are slated to come before the council for discussion. My comments to the community or volunteer in policing was that there is interest for economic development, and was pointing out some specific projects that are in their early stages, but ultimately would come to this council for additional conversation and discussion. It's no different than the presentation that you received from Mr. Hankin concerning the proposed commercial development on Blue Heron.
All right. We don't have any items tabled, no regular items, no discussion and deliberation. Do we have any comments from the manager, discussion by city manager?
Just some brief comments. Obviously, with Thanksgiving slowly approaching or quickly approaching, depends on your perspective if you have to cook or not. But I do want to wish the community a happy and safe Thanksgiving, and to our employees, certainly thankful and grateful for the opportunity to work alongside of so many great men and women for the agency. Also, I think it's important for the public to know that even though some of us may be off on Thanksgiving Day, that we are a 24-hour operation, and so we have law enforcement professionals, public safety professionals in the fire department, and utility operators that will be working. And so please keep them in your thoughts, and certainly if you have an opportunity to swing by and say hi, they certainly appreciate that. And you know, unfortunately, not all of us get to spend time with our loved ones during the holiday season, so please keep your thoughts and prayers for our first responders, but also our military personnel that's deployed on foreign territories all across the world, defending the freedoms that we enjoy today. So please make sure that you keep them in your thoughts and prayers, and just wishing everybody a happy and safe Thanksgiving.
All right, discussion by city attorney?
No comments. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right. City council committee reports? Statements by the mayor and city council. We'll start with the mayor.
Yes, I'd like to wish our community residents a happy Thanksgiving. Just a couple things, Mr. Evans. If we could look into,
I don't know if your mic is working. Okay.
I have some calls from Morrow Heights, O Avenue, 23rd Street to 27th. They're complaining about their cars running over some drainage covers. And they were asking, maybe, they know we have a long-term plan for it, but in the meanwhile, short-term, could we cover those drainage with some asphalt so the cars won't be having to get alignment? And also 36th Street in Goodmont Park, speed bumps. I got an email today from a resident that a little girl almost got hit. They reached out to me last week. I think the speed bumps were shaved down, so they're asking, could we bring them back up? So I did take a look at them and took some pictures, so if we can kind of address those issues and get back with those residents. Thank you.
All right, Chair Pro Tem?
Yes, just a reminder that on December 3rd at 6 o'clock at the Marina Event Center, the Palm Beach State College people will be there to register people for the Business Specialist, CCC, or College Credit Certificate course. Bear in mind that it is free if you qualify for financial aid. And so please come out and register for that course. It will begin in January. Excuse me. On December 20th, once again, we'll be taking the Lincoln and Washington Elementary School fourth graders to the South Florida Science Center. We appreciate the support of the Parks and Recreation Department to provide us with transportation. I urge you to come out to support 12 Guitars of Christmas at Das Craft Beer on December 12th at Das on Singer Island, because they will be doing, they're partnering with Toys for Tots, and also to encourage you to support the Jupiter Mamas Toy Drive. All of the toys purchased with that money or donated by people will go to children in Riviera Beach. I'm working now with the principal of Lincoln Elementary School for the distribution of those toys. And I will continue to go to Stony Brook. I will continue to support the people in Stony Brook. I've made arrangements for new furniture, to be delivered to Stony Brook, so that those apartments that they're moving into can be furnished with nice furniture. And no matter how anyone thinks that it's not appropriate to give Christmas presents or toys or even Easter baskets to those kids, it's going to be something I'll keep doing. Happy Thanksgiving.
Councilwoman Lanier?
Just happy Thanksgiving to the residents of the city of Riviera Beach and for the staff and employees of the city.
Councilman Lawson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just want to wish everyone a happy, wonderful Thanksgiving, a safe Thanksgiving. Make 2 announcements of events that we have coming up. The networking brunch that we'll be hosting is going to be on the rooftop of the Marina, December 15th from 12 to 5 p.m. This will be an event for all of our residents to just learn how to do work with the city, business with the city, to meet some of our electeds and city officials, just to talk about how they can actually engage and actually be employed with the city, contracts with the city, and just kind of fellowship together. On December 17th, we're going to be having right here in the chambers, we'll be having a mental health forum, mental health in the minority community. So please, if you can come out and attend, we'll have therapists and counsel, male and female throughout, that will be able to address mental health in the minority community. So that's December 17th right here at 6:30. Thank you.
All right, and I'd just like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, and with that being said, we stand adjourned.